I'm Bill Fukui with Page One Solutions. You know, today, lay people can go online and read enough to believe that they can diagnose their own symptoms. You know, ultimately, they develop health anxiety, and it's a term that's been coined Cyberchondria. You know, with so many new opportunities to market on your web, I notice many of you do the same things when it comes to promoting your practice online. I guess you can call it a form of marketing cyberchondria. And whether it's pandas, penguins, Yelp, social media, SEO, remarketing campaigns, day part pay-per-click advertising, there's so much information on the web where you feel like you can diagnose your own problems and devise remedies and solutions. Well, I can't stop you from going out onto the web and trying to figure things out for yourself. So this is the first of a series of updates to guide you to develop more accurate conclusions and possible solutions to those marketing problems. But before you can start diagnosing a problem, you have to first of all make sure you have one and then understand the scope of it. And this means data. You need to start with your Google Analytics, and first you need to access your website's analytics data. And what I mean here is login access. Your website analytics shouldn't be limited to just reports that your web marketer selects the data it just chooses to send you. Now, once you have access to your website analytics, you're going to find more data and information than you can probably interpret and make strategic conclusions upon. So, before you start getting lost in all this data, I wanted to give you some primary trends you need to consider when looking at your analytics. Number one, it's traffic. And what I mean here is unique users. Your analytics will default to the most recent month's results, and I suggest you change the setting to be at least 12 months. Okay? The main thing here is you want to look at trends. Also, there may be some seasonal peaks and valleys that may influence your traffic, and you want to keep those in mind as well. Now, since every practice and marketplace is different, the goal here is not to find a fixed traffic goal, but rather trends in growth. Number two, it's engagement. How long people stay on your site and visit targeted pages, it's essential. And it's a reflection of the website's engagement level and the quality of your content. And just like when you go to the store, the longer you're there, the greater the likelihood you're going to make a purchase, right? Well, your website's no different. Although time on site is going to differ from one practice to the next, generally, if you're looking for a goal range, that can be 2 minutes on the low end, and with higher performing goals of maybe 4, 5, or 6 minutes, really on the higher performing sites. But again, the goal here is to evaluate your trends, not necessarily already start out with some fixed number that you're trying to get. Number three is usability. The number of pages per visit is usually a reflection of the layout and the navigation of the site, and well-designed sites should get visitors to engage and click to get more information. Now, if your site is averaging fewer than, say, 2 pages per visitor, then there's probably something you need to do to fix that. Number four is going to be bounce rate. Now, according to Google, the bounce rate is the percentage of single-page visits. Basically, these are visits where persons, they come to the site and they leave it without clicking deeper or interacting with, any of the page elements. Now, one caveat is if a large percentage of your visitors are existing clients or patients, well, when they just come there to get phone and address, that kind of information, it may not be as big an issue. But here again, the key is to find trends. Is it improving or getting worse? If you are looking for a baseline to consider, I would just say anything over 50% should get your attention. Number five is content. All the pages of your website, they don't have the same value to you or your visitors. And whether visitors get to high priority destination pages and engage with them is key to high conversion websites. Goal flow and funnel visualization reports can also give direction on how to improve your pages. Number six is traffic sources. This gives you some indication of how people are coming to your site. How are they getting there? You need to use it to help you identify what marketing seems to be working and what isn't, so that you can improve them, but ultimately where to invest more and where to cut back on. And number 7 is mobile users. Identifying how visitors are coming to your site using a mobile device, and how many people come there with those devices is important, but what do they do when they get there is even more important. Make sure your website is responsive and designed to accommodate these smartphone users and tablets. The key is address those mobile users, and you'll get a higher converting website. Now, of course, there's a lot more things you can look at in your website analytics, and they can all be helpful in diagnosing and making suggestions. But be aware that, again, some of the data is going to focus on issues with your site, and others are going to point out problems with your marketing and visibility. Now, we'll cover this more on our next video on lead generation and tracking. But if you'd like us to evaluate your website's Google Analytics data, call me. I'd be happy to discreetly share our insight and strategies at no cost to you. Or you can just email me. I look forward to hearing from you, and have a good week.